Hi, this is Dave Clarke. I'm with Mark Lanegan, and we are with Toasted.
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to Rotterdam.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is actually your gig, right, Mark?
It is, yeah. Dave's just visiting.
The reason we're here is because you guys teamed up to make some music. How did that actually happen, Dave?
I thought about Mark, and then we got in contact with Mark, and then Mark got in contact with us, and then it was a done deal really, really quick. It was one of those times when we were both not on tour, and he came over, I think it was January last year, and it was done really, really quick. It was arranged really, really fast, and he flew over, and it was really seamless and really easy, I think.
Did you know Dave's music, Mark, before this?
Yes, of course.
I didn't know that.
I didn't tell you that?
No.
Yeah, man. I'm a fan.
Because you did some dance stuff before. Of course, you worked with James Lavelle from Uncle. You worked with Tim Simonon from Bomb the Bass. But this is a different ballgame, right?
It is, and that's, part of the reason I was so excited when Dave got in touch with me is because it is, it's a different step. And I've always been interested in that kind of music, the kind of music Dave does, and also the artists that you mentioned. So I jumped at the chance, I was totally psyched.
What Dave just mentioned in the interview that he did with you is that both of you guys are heavily influenced by punk. This is basically the first music you listen to. I know for a fact that Dave started off listening to the good old English punk music with The Damned.
There's only English punk. There's no such thing as American punk. It's fast rock and roll.
So what sort of fast rock and roll did you like, Mark?
I also was first taken by The Damned, The Stranglers, and then...
Good UK names.
Exactly. Of course, the Ramones, just all the early stuff, but it was really the Sex Pistols that I first heard, and that just blew me away. I had no reference point for that, and it just got into me in a very direct way, and I was gone from that point on.
The music you guys made, and this is the thing, it strikes me that none of you actually mentioned Killing Joke. And I think the combination of you two leans toward that atmosphere as far as I'm concerned. Do you see my point?
I take that as a great compliment because...
Are you talking about being overproduced?
Depends on which Killing Joke record you're talking about, but...
Well, the first one, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great compliment. I love Killing Joke, and I see it also. There is a definite hint of that.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's weird because I only knew Killing Joke from their major hits, right? For me, for some reason, it just passed me by. The guy that you can't see, the really good-looking guy behind the camera right now, who's got this really long arm with a microphone, he actually bought me the album, and I was like, holy shit, this production is fucking outstanding. And it's on my phone ever since, and it's blown me away, and I just really it took me there, so I can actually see what you're saying, because the production on that particular album, what was that album called? The first one, the first one that he gave me. It's like, and that production was just so ahead of its time that it's just inspirational, because every sound is well thought out, it's methodical, it has place, and it has attitude. But it's not attitude in isolation. It's not like here's a finger without a story. There's a story, a finger, and an attitude all in one thing.
And it's a really intelligent music as well, I think, and it goes for your music as well. What strikes me is that your voice goes really well with a wide range of music. In combination with your music, Dave, it has this Bauhaus, Killing Joke, like, how should I say this, Ghost in the Machine sort of atmosphere?
Yeah, with Mark, what I wanted to do is, because I've been a fan of Mark for ages, sometimes without even realising. Like, for example, Queens of the Stone Age, not always knowing, and then now I can isolate. So I was a fan for ages, and with his voice, his voice is very well known for being that gravelly delivery, and what I wanted to do with Charcoal Eyes was actually almost make it into a Chicago detective story where someone's walking along the street but shot like Sin City in black and white. So it's this narrative tone there, but not with the full gravel voice, but enough of the character that you know it's Mark. And then with Monogram Sun, I was heavily inspired by what was happening with Leonard Cohen, actually, with his last track, and the fact that they, in my mind, at least overused some of the plugins to take that low end. And what I wanted to do with Mark's voice there is have the typical Mark voice, but have a little bit more low end there as well. But I mean, his voice is outstanding.
I had the privilege to listen to the music before Mark sang on it, and I had no idea how the combination was going to sound. Actually, I had no idea how you would come up with a singing line, actually, with vocals on that track. So how did that work out?
Well, it's like what I was describing to Dave a few minutes ago. I just sort of do what comes instinctually when somebody gives me a piece of music. I first make a map of it, just with sound and a few words, and then that tells me what the next thing is going to be. And I really don't think too much about it. I just sort of do what comes naturally and do the next indicated thing, and hopefully come up with a song that's not complete crap.
So was it a one take? I mean, was it like an instant thing where you were like, wow, what the hell?
I mean, to be honest, with Charcoal Eyes, he'd already rehearsed it, and he delivered it within two and a half takes. And that was perfect. We went off to see, I think, Trent Muller that night because it was like so quick. It was like, you know what, we can chill for a little bit. It's cool. And that's always great because you can get inspired by other types of music. And then with Monochrome Sun, we didn't come up with the title until afterwards. But again, it was really, really, really fast. Mark is much more used to, I think, acoustic bands or bands where timing is a little bit more human. And so, by his own admission, the only thing that I really had to do was like kick him forward a little bit sometimes to the beat. Because normally if he's like doing a dancing, I think there's someone at the front going, kicking him forward just a little bit. But,
timing's not the greatest, that's for sure.
But I think timing is difficult when you're so used to working with a live band and all of a sudden you're working with something which is much more rigid. And that's the only thing I had to do was just move the timing around a little bit. And we were done with Monochrome Sun within, I think, 2.5 takes. I think we rewrote it a little bit there as well.
Yeah, we did some rewriting in the studio, but we had way more time than we needed.
Yeah,
it went really quickly.
Just don't tell
really
the record
easily.
company.
So how about the lyrics? I mean, did you guys both wrote the lyrics? Because they are pretty personal. I mean, you could interpret them as being personal.
Dave wrote the lyrics for Charcoal Eyes, which blew me away. I mean, he just first sent the lyrics without the music, I think.
I sent the music first.
Oh, okay.
Because I was actually really nervous. It's the first time I've written lyrics, so I thought, well, the music side I think I can handle by now. I'm okay. So if you like that, then let's go. And then he asked me for the lyrics. I'm like, oh shit. So I sent the lyrics, and then 5 hours later, you got back to me. These are really strong, bro. I was like, okay. And then I went, it's my first time I've written shit.
But I mean, as a singer, singing someone else's lyrics, if they're shitty, how do you bring that up?
Well, I wouldn't agree to do something if I thought it was shitty. But I thought these lyrics that Dave wrote were pure poetry. I mean, it just, like I said, it blew me away. It was really personal, but also something that could fit me as well. And so I just tried to inhabit the song and come up with a way of delivering it with some major instruction from Dave. But I just tried to get inside of it, and I could completely relate to it. So that was the best part of it. And then I think we wrote the lyrics for the other one together.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say you wrote the lion's share of the lyrics, and the weird thing was, again, you could flip that coin, and then it became a personal thing for me with your lyrics, which is really, really interesting because I didn't expect that, and I deciphered it and worked out things, and I was like, wow, this is incredible. I mean, we don't talk about what the lyrics are about. That's for everyone else to either work out if they can be asked or have their own version of meaning, I think. But it was quite incredible. It felt like a final meeting of kindred souls, and also when we were discussing art and everything else, it was like, you like this, you know this, and actually you're quite an Anglophile. I would say that.
Is that a compliment?
It used to be. It used to be a compliment, yeah, definitely.
Hey, it looks like a bromance going on here in a very good way. A lot of fans would be going like, why don't you make a complete album, or why don't you make a double album even together?
You shot that out of the dark? I wasn't expecting that.
That actually crossed my mind after we had breakfast the other day.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
Dave, my wife, and I had breakfast in our hotel, and I was actually thinking that same thing myself.
Actually, it's a pretty good idea, I think.
But let's shake on it, and let's shake on. Let's shake on thinking on it, and give it some structure.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, on that bombshell, I'll leave you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.